Hello, this is a follow-up from my request from Hannah about packaging her textile design for spoon flower. Okay, one of the things that I thought I should point out is sometimes when you've got a piece of artwork like this and you may need to resize it, or you want to check the size, and you can see when I select it, it gives me this size. But our true repeat is actually this square, not this. And sometimes you don't have all of that until the end, and then you're checking it and you're going, well, they're pretty messy numbers. So one of the things we can do is to select all our work, and the easiest way is go Control A, and that's select all. Then if you come up to Object and down to Expand, and we expand everything, so that will turn your strokes into fills and everything like that. And I also think it's good at this stage to perhaps ungroup and expand again. Sometimes within groups it doesn't work. We're going to do something very similar to what we did with the exporting. Is we're going to come down, and in our layers window, we're going to come to the menu, and actually we can see it here. We would locate object. Now with this, I'm going to create a second one. So you see how we've got our color fill, and then we've got our boundary box. Now with this color fill, the really important thing here that I want to do is I want to send this to the top, so I'm going to right mouse click for options, arrange, and bring to the front. Now the great thing about what I've done now is because all of these fills are not outlines, I can select everything and come down to my Pathfinder tool. So as much as since the day of the shape build has been around, a lot of people sort of give the Pathfinder tool a miss. Well, it's an incredible tool. So what I'm going to do is, because we've got this top object defining the area, we can now come down to our tools here and see this one here, and that's crop. And it will crop the design, not based on the artboard, but on the top shape object, which we used, which is the same shape as our boundary. So now if I click on this, you must outline everything first, otherwise this doesn't really work, because it doesn't cut strokes, it just cuts the fills. And so now you can see, and if I click on these individually with my selection tools, we actually have a perfect piece of artwork. And now when I select this, so if I go Control R, let's just bring up our ruler, and I'm just going to right mouse click and change it to centimetres, and that way I have an easier time working with this. Now if I was to start changing the size of this, it's going to change my artboard's going to be a different size. So the easiest thing at this stage is to come over to your Artboard tool over here in your tools, and I could look at this and I could go, okay, maybe with this I need to just see how that's very close. It's only 2 millimeters or 1.1 millimeter out of being 56. So just change that. And this over here is, if I just change that to 45. And to this, I might now just also do the same measurements to my artwork. So if I select the artwork, and I'll come and we change that to 56, and this to 45. And with this all selected, it may have moved and it might not be sitting right on the edge. So the easiest thing to do is come to these align tools. They often are here as well. But because I've got a whole heap of things selected, it's up here in my control panel. And what I'm going to do is, next to these align tools is this option, and I'm going to align to my artboard. So when I center it, if I hit center, it's just going to make sure that this artwork is sitting in the center of my artboard. So, and then I'm going to do the same vertically align center. So now I can see that I've got this beautiful artwork that just was tweaked to be a lovely clean number, and it didn't throw the sizes out. In general, I really believe you need to constrain it and make sure that those numbers stretch to the same thing. So you want to make it, if the width grows, you want the same proportion of the height to grow. But if it's like a millimeter out, and that's going to allow us to have these lovely clean numbers across this big design, I think it's worth it. So hopefully you'll find this tip handy as well. Good luck, and I can't wait to see some of your designs, so please let me see, send them on to me.